Claude's recent release of their new model, Opus 4.6, also introduced us to a new feature in Claude Code called the Claude Code Agent Teams, which allows us to create autonomous teams of working agents which work at the same time, which makes building agentic workflows 10 times faster and 10 times more powerful. And so in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what Claude Code Agent Teams actually are for a complete beginner and how they're different from sub-agents or the general Claude Chat, how you can set them up step by step. But most importantly, I'm going to build a tangible use case that I use within my business and build one live right in front of you. And in case you don't know who I am, my name is Michele and I've scaled my own AI agency to 6 figures, working with over 50 businesses to implement AI solutions and teaching over 20,000 people in the process, all starting with zero technical knowledge. With that being said, let's dive in. All right, so here I broke down Claude Chat versus sub-agents versus agent teams, what they all are and how they're different. All right, so the first one here is Claude Chat. This is you talking to Claude directly with no tools, no code, just a conversation, simple back and forth, and nothing in between. And typically you use Claude Chat only when you have a question or want some help writing something, just a normal conversation. Maybe you can write your emails. An example of this could be that you're building an automation in, let's say, an A10, you have an error, you drop the error message into Claude Code and say, hey, can you explain this error message? Or can you help me write my cover letter, brainstorm video ideas? Basically the way the 99% of people are using AI right now, it's using Claude Chat. Then we have sub-agents, and sub-agents just means that you have a boss and the boss has 3 employees, but this is a but, the employees cannot talk to each other. Okay, so if employee A is making something that then depends on employee B, well, that's a problem because they can't speak to each other and they can't communicate, right, when making a task together, which could decrease the quality of output and it just wouldn't work well. The results can only return to parent agent only, and they have a shared context window. So they have a shared context window, which means that they all operate under the same window, the same kind of tab in Claude Code. And when do we use sub-agents? Well, sub-agents are used when you're building code or you need Claude to research, explore, or plan different things in parallel at the same time. This could be add authentication, write test, right, where you have 2 different things which are not dependent on each other running at the same time, or explore this code base for me, plan this feature, then build it. And when you're building with sub-agents, you ideally want to have 2 different tasks or 3 or 4 or 5, whatever it is that you want, but make sure that these tasks do not correlate with each other. So for example, let's say you have a YouTube transcript and you want to repurpose that YouTube transcript into a LinkedIn post, a blog post, and maybe a Twitter post, right? All these 3 things, you might think they're not dependent on each other, but they are, because the style of writing, the tone of voice, has to be the same across the different content that you make. And so with sub-agents, you're not able to have the LinkedIn post talk to the blog post, talk to the Twitter post to make sure that they all have the same exact tone of voice. And then we have the one and only agent teams, okay? So the way the agent teams works is that you have a team lead. So you give team lead a task, say, hey, can you make this team of people that can do X, Y, and Z, right? What this does is that it spawns the team, so it creates a team and assigns tasks across the different teammates. And just like sub-agents, it will start creating agent 1, agent 2, and agent 3. And these agents all have the same shared task list, but the agents communicate with each other and each one has its own context. So it has its own context window and operates under its own kind of environment, right? And so you have teammate A talking to teammate B, talking to teammate C, which can all see the same tasks that they have here. And the team lead is the one that kind of operates the whole team. And this would be like an actual company, right? All the employees are talking to each other, same departments, maybe different departments, but they can still speak to each other, correlate, and communicate with the head of department kind of in that role. Now, you only use agent teams really when you need multiple Claude working on separate repos or separate kind of instances, or when you have a big tasks, right? Usually it's development based. So it's more technical. For example, you can build a front end plus back end plus tests. Front end does depend on the back end and it does depend on the tests. So you want to have 3 different agents under the same team that are building the exact thing that you want, but bear in mind they can also communicate with each other. So the output will be much higher, right? Because obviously the front end will depend on the back end working and the test would depend on front end and back end working. So you want them to communicate with each other at the same time, or migrate 5 services at once, but also one Claude orchestrating the rest. Now, in terms of the actual build itself, there is a repeat and improve process, which is a 4-step cycle that we go through every single time when it comes to the communication, when it comes to speaking to the agent team for whatever it is that we want to build, right? The first thing is collect. So we want to brainstorm ideas and it's going to list every task and set clear goals, just like a head of department would, or just like a CEO would. Then we organize. So we rank by priorities, we set deadlines, and we block the time slots for the agents itself. Then we execute. So each agent will work through the tasks. We'll track the progress and we'll have focus on what we have to do because each agent has its own task that it has to do. And then review, which is checking what's done, know what's left, and adjusting the plan in case we need to change, right? And then we repeat and improve and we keep going on and on and on. And that's exactly how the team actually operates, just like you would for a real company. And one more thing before we get to the build is that this is great because we have what we call Parallelization Advantage. Because a traditional workflow would have 6 tasks, and let's say they all take 1 minute, right? So you have 6 minutes total. When you have an agent team, we have what we call parallel processing. So instead of each task being done individually at different times, here you'd have 3 different agents all working at the same time on their own tasks. Task 1, task 3, and task 5 will be done at the exact same time, as well as task 2, task 4, and task 6, which means that instead of spending 6 minutes or waiting 6 minutes, then you will wait 2 minutes because we have what we call parallel execution. Now, these are all fancy terms just to say that this basically saves us a lot of time. I'm speaking in like minutes, but sometimes it can be hours that you would wait for a workflow to work. And here you would literally get it within minutes, which is kind of mind blowing. And I think that's where the future of agentic workflows are going to be. It's having one main agent, which controls all the others, and having them do the task for you without you having to be there. Okay, so here I am in Anti-Gravity, our IDE that we're going to use. And by the way, Anti-Gravity, VS Code, basically the exact same. You can pretty much use VS Code as well, but I just chose Anti-Gravity because that's what I have here. First thing I'm going to do here is press open folder. So I typically like to have a Claude Code main folder and then have different folders inside. Just something that I do. And I can press new folder here and name this agent. So Claude agent teams. And I can press open. I already downloaded the extension, but you can go here to extensions. You can look for Claude Code. Make sure it's the one by Anthropic, which should be the one here, Anthropic. And then you can install it, and then you'll be able to see a little button here, which has Claude Code open. And you can press this button. X out of here, and we go back to here. Okay, so here I am on the Claude Code documents. This is the official Claude Code documents, which tells us how to basically start the team. And I found this by going to code.claude.com/docs/en/agent/teams, and you'll see run agent teams right here. And if I scroll down, we can see when we use it, when we don't use it, how it works. And then here it says to enable agent teams. So to enable agent teams, we have to make a file called settings.json, and then we have to put this right here inside. I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna press new file. I'm gonna name this settings. Is it settings or settings? Settings.json. Settings.json. And you'll see that this will not be turned into JSON because that's the data structure. And if I go back, I can copy this and then copy it back. And I can press file, save. What you could have also done is you could just literally copy this, or you can just go Command A, copy the whole thing, and then you can paste it into Claude Code and say, hey, based on this documentation, can you please enable agent teams? And it will do it for you. But I like to be different, so there you have it. Okay, so settings.json, we have this here. And now this is where we can prompt Claude Code to be able to make the agent. All right, so I already have my prompt here that I'm going to use. You can find it in the second link down below in my school community. So basically what I'm telling the agent to do is I am going to drop a sales discovery call transcript. So let's say I had a call with a client. I dropped the transcript of the call, so what we said on the call. And then the team will be consisted of 4 different agents, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this agent will make the client summary document. This agent will make the proposal. This agent will make the CRM kind of update. And this agent will make a follow-up email. With that said, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go back here, and I'm actually not going to be using this chat, but I'm going to be using the terminal. Now, I was a bit confused when I saw people using the terminal versus using the chat. The reason why we use the terminal here is because we can see more. So if I press Claude here, my Claude will open up. Like, this tells us everything. This shows all the settings. It shows all the small things. It might look a bit more complex, but it's very, very easy when you start using it and you get the hang of it. I'm going to press X. I'm going to make this full screen, and we can use the terminal. And by the way, you can use the other one as well. It's just that I can't see all the features that I want to show you, but it still works the exact same. I'm going to go here, copy this, and then paste the prompt here. I'm going to press enter. And now Claude Code is going to start working on this. Test tool loaded. We have this settings.json, which means that we are enabling agent teams. And so it knows that it has to make a team of agents. It's now saying, hey, we have to create the input and output directory structure. I can just say yes, proceed. I could also say yes and don't ask again, but I want to show you all the different things that it asks me to do, which is fine. So I can press yes. As you can see, it made the output and the input. The input is where we have the transcript. So we'll be adding the files here. And the output is where we get the CRM, the emails, the insights, and the proposals as well for each transcript that we use. Now it's saying that it's going to create a sample transcript and the orchestration script in parallel. So it's also testing that it does work. Now it's asking whether we can make a transcript.md document to basically test a transcript of a call and make sure that all the agents work simultaneously. I can press yes. This is now writing the transcript.md, which I believe is going to be here. Yeah, the input, because that's the input. And then it's saying, do you want to make this edit to run pipeline.sh? I can just press yes. So now it's asking me all the different small things that I typically would not want to be asked because it's all code. Now I can go to yes and don't ask again. Okay, now it's also making the folder called agents. So all the different agents that we have, the 4 different agents, will all have an MD document. So MD just stands for Markdown. It's the way that they basically put titles and subheadings and bullet points and so on to structure the information. And so each agent will have an MD document, and the MD document, it's simply just instructions of what the agent is. So then when we give it a transcript, it basically goes back to the MD documents and says, okay, what does this agent have to do? What about this agent? What about that agent? And the last agent as well. And it will start running all of them at the same time. Okay, there we go. So this is the structure. We have .claude/agent. Then we have agent 1. So let me just take this out here. We have agent 2. We have agent 3. And then we have agent 4 to make the proposals. Okay, so I'm pulling back up the terminal. I can actually just clear this conversation. Clear. I can start from 0. So now what we'll do is we'll actually test it. So we have everything done. We have the Claude agents set up. We have the input and the output folders. We have the script, and then we have the thing that allows us to be able to make the team. So I can just go back here. I can then go to this example discovery call. This is an example, like example input that I would give the actual agent. And I can say, hey, can you use this discovery call transcript to be able to activate the team and activate the whole team, agent team in Claude Code, and use this transcript as the input. Not a question. Paste it here. And now we press run. So this basically pasted the whole call that we have. It's a short call, so nothing crazy, but it's enough for it to be able to make all the things that we wanted to make. So it's saying, I can see the full agent team pipeline. Let me first update the transcript file with the Collins marketing discovery call and then run the pipeline. Pipeline just means run the agent team. Now it's saying, hey, can we replace the transcript MD, which is the one here, with the transcript that you just gave us? I'll just say yes, allow all edits during the session, just because I don't have to then approve everything. So it uploaded here, and now it's saying, hey, can we run the pipeline? I can just press yes and don't ask again. Now it's saying, hey, let me kick off agent 1, call insights agent first, since the other 3 depend on its output. And this is great because you get to see exactly how agent 1 now talks to the other agents. Agent 1 is a call insights, and based on the call insights, we then feed it to the other agent to make the email and the proposal and the CRM as well. Okay, so now it's telling me that it made the client summary, company overview, core problem, main pain points, desired outcome, timeline, red flags, objections and concerns, and key quotes. I can say, yes, I want to proceed. And now I should get the insights here, client summary.md. And by the way, I'm doing this obviously manually to show you how to test it and how everything works. But you can pretty much upload this or publish this to a platform like Modal. And then all you have to give it is the input. And then the whole agent team will work on its own. And one thing I'll also cover later on is the pricing. Because you can see I'm getting completely rinsed with my tokens. It's going faster than I've ever seen. So this is one drawback of agent teams, but we'll get into that in the later part. So agent 1 was complete. It then ran agent 2, 3 at the same time. So 2 agents finished. It built the product proposal from insights and the CRM deal for JSON from insights. And now that agent 2 and 3 are done, now we're going to be launching agent 4, which is going to be creating the follow-up email. So it's saying now that all 4 agents have been completed. Here's a summary of what was generated. So we have the call insights agent, proposal, CRM, and follow-up emails. We have the files, which you can find emails here, CRM here. We have insights here, and we have proposal here, which I'll go in just a second. And it says all output files are ready in the output directory. Want me to open them for review? I can just say, yeah, let's see what it does, really. Yes, open them. And by the way, you can also edit the permission. So right now, if you press Shift Tab, you can see that I'm changing this. Plan mode accepts edits. You can also do bypass permissions, which is letting it just do everything on its own. So client summary, this is a document, product proposal, CRM deal update, and follow-up emails. So I'm gonna make this smaller so you can see, right? And I'm gonna go through each one. So CRM, this is the deal update that you upload into your CRM to be able to include all the fields. So this included the company name, industry, size indicator, growth rate, contact name, title, email. There was no email, so we couldn't find it. The deal stage, discovery, summary, main problems, pain points, desired outcomes, and a bunch more other things as well. Then we have the emails. So this is the follow-up email that it made. And it said, to Sarah Collins from Ren JM Solutions. Subject line, your roadmap from 18 to 40 clients, proposal inside. Thank you for the candid conversation on Wednesday. The way you described the gap between where Collins marketing is today and where you want it to be, 40 clients without the operations breaking, gave us a clear picture of what needs to happen. A few takeaways I want to make sure we capture correctly. Onboarding is the biggest time drain. An hour per client with manual folder creation, document sends, and tool setups across Google Drive, ClickUp, and Slack, and things still slip through the cracks. Reporting is costing your VA 3 to 4 hours per week. The knowledge bottleneck is real. I've attached a proposal which outlines the 2-phase 8-week engagement, and talk soon, Ren. We also ask it to book a call. Now, if I go to client summary, I can see the insights. So this is the summary of the actual conversation that we had on the call. And in proposal, we have the proposal that it just made based on the conversation. So understanding your challenges, manual client onboarding, reporting, tools, knowledge, proposed solution, and we have scope of work, deliverables, timeline, investment, why us, next steps, and so on. And these are all things that you could easily turn into like a PDF. So let me go here to Claude Code. I'm going to say, can you turn the project proposal.md file into a PDF that I can use? Make sure the formatting is correct. Obviously, if you look at this, you'd be like, okay, how do we use this now? You could easily copy that into Notion or copy that into Google Docs, but I just want to show you how Claude Code does it for me. All right, so I just finished making the product proposal PDF. So we can go here. This is the markdown format, and it turned it into a PDF. Of course, if you look at it this way, it also wouldn't make sense. But because it's a file on our computer, I'm just going to open it up, and we get this right here, which is PDF version with the executive summary, understanding your challenges. Then we have tools, proposed solutions, scope of work, deliverables, timeline, investments. It also made the table. Very nice formatting, the price, why us, and next steps. And so that's exactly how the whole agent team ran through to make the output, which you can then use for whatever it is. And this right here is a 7 out of 10 use case, I would say, because you could still do it with sub-agents in some way, but the output is better here just because you have the client summary, which is made, and then passes the client summary to the proposal and to make the email and the CRM to then give you the full output. All right, so there's one aspect of this that I briefly mentioned, but I didn't really dive deep into, which is price. Because if you saw before, for me to run all the 4 agents, it cost me 10,000 tokens, and it was increasing way too fast for my liking. And so here we have token cost and here we have speed. Obviously, regular Claude will take a lot more time, but it'll be cheaper. The faster you get and the more expensive it will get until you get to agent teams, which is 5 minutes and $80. This is because each employee in the agent team has its own context. It has its own kind of place where it runs. And so it will cost you a lot more to be able to run this agent team. But if you are building something a bit more complex, where let's say you're building a software application, and for the software application, you want the main, team leader, and then you want the different agents to be able to talk to each other. Because when you're making the front end, the back end, the privacy, the OAuth, all these things, you'd want the different agents to communicate to build a much better output rather than using sub-agents. But for the most part, if you're working with Claude Code and you want to run different tasks in parallel, you're better off going with sub-agents rather than spending 6 times more, but also getting 6 times the speed. And if you want all the prompts and resources in this video, then check out the second link down below. You can go to the classroom section, go to the templates vault, and then you'll be able to go to the Claude Code resources, and you'll find Claude Code agent teams, and you can press on this link right here. Bear in mind that not everybody gets in, so please put some thoughts into your answers when you reply. So now you understand exactly how Claude Code agent teams actually work and how they compare to sub-agents or the general Claude Chat, but also how to build one live step by step. And in my eyes, this right here is only the start of what Anthropic really is building, because we're getting to a point where we're building autonomous systems. We have a team leader, and then we have all the agents working simultaneously. And the cost is higher now, but I do predict that it will be lower over time, and sub-agents will get more powerful, and we'll be able to do things that previously we couldn't even conceive or conceptualize to be able to do. And if you want to work with me one-to-one to be able to take all these skills and turn them into a tangible AI agency that you can start and scale within 3 months, then I left the first link down below, which is a one-on-one mentorship program. Watch the video. If it sounds like a good fit, feel free to apply. And now that you've built an agentic system instead of Claude Code, check out this video on the screen where I show you the top 4 ways where you can take the system and actually put them into production. With that being said, I hope you found value from this video, and I'll see you in the next one.